So you've been working on my guitars for years, and you know that I have all but given up on trying to lock my strings on the pegs. Yeah. I am all locking tuners all the time now.
It's all in.
Because I just don't, I'm sick of struggling with having to lock. And how many YouTube videos are there of how many different methods for us to lock our strings?
Thousands. Yeah.
But yours is right?
I think mine is right. The way you lock your strings is really important. If you're just wrapping them and you're not like adding a lock or something, there can be slippage, which can lead to like tuning stability issues and things like that. Overlocking them can also cause issues. I've seen some people where they will lock it in a knot and then the clipping is pointed down and it just scratches like the headstock and the finish. There's a lot of ways to do it. Like Brian said earlier, there's a ton of videos online on how to do this. I use a pretty simple procedure for it and it's worked really well for me over the years. And we're gonna go over to the bench and show you how to knot your strings and how to not knot your strings. Okay, so a lot of times when we're talking string breakage, tuning issues, things like that, other things that we'll cover in future videos, what we're really like trying to diagnose is basically why is it falling out of tune so much or why is it breaking up here. A lot of that comes down to the way you wrap your strings. There's a million ways to do it and the internet is full of ways and forums on this for days. I have one way that I like to do that has pretty much been the best way I can find and everything likes to work smoothly with it. So I've cut some dummy strings here and I'm going to try to demonstrate this. So on your bass strings, all you have to do, basically you just put it into the post, push it down, hold it, and then you're just going to go like that. And you want to guide the string underneath the knot that's in there. You can go on top and then underneath. That's what I would do on like an acoustic tuning post, which I can demonstrate in a few here. But yeah, you're just going to want to do something like that. That should hold. You should be fine on that. Follow that for your A and D strings. I use that on all bass strings. So for your treble strings, this is a lock system that I really like. It starts by setting your tuning posts to 9 and 3, so that the slots point at 9 and 3. You're going to take a little bit of string, you're going to put it in there, then you're going to go to 3 o'clock, go counterclockwise, and then make a little detour back through the slot. So now you're back at 3 again, but you're just sitting on top of that string that's going through the post. And then I usually come straight down to 6, and that's it. And when you start to tune it, it locks really nice inside in the post in like a Z or an S fashion. And that should hold it in. And it looks like that, if you can see it. Very helpful for your treble strings. So, I'm going to do that again, just to show you. Setting it to 9 and 3 because it's easier. Enter the post. 3 o'clock, counterclockwise. Oh, sometimes it slips out. That's very common. Detour, back to 3 o'clock, down to 6. Just like that. It's a pretty standard lock, but I have had zero issues with this slipping. And as long as everything else is correct on the guitar, like you're not gonna have tuning issues with that lock. Okay, so here's another 6-in-line example. Again, I kind of like to settle the tuning post to 9 and 3. But for your bass strings, you're gonna just want to thread it through like that. And you take the extra string and you're just gonna loop it clockwise. But when you loop it, you're gonna go on top of the string that's coming through and then hold it down towards the headstock like that. Because when you're winding this string, that top and then what is gonna happen when you're winding underneath. It's gonna sandwich that string in there like this. So basically, the string will be locked in between the wraps, the top wrap and the lower wrap. Very helpful for your bass strings. And for your treble strings, I'm just setting them to 9 and 3. Let's see here. So for your treble strings, here's another lock that I use. This one works really well also. You're gonna wanna go through towards 9 o'clock. Then you're gonna pull the existing clockwise and under the rest of the string like that. So here you have your full string. You're underneath it, and then you're gonna wanna go straight up, like straight towards noon, just like that. And it's gonna create like a little V, and it's gonna wanna like stand up straight like that. You just hold it down, and when you're adding tension, that little V lock is gonna completely secure the treble string. So you're not gonna have slippage or anything coming from those treble strings. Very helpful on these style tuners. Okay, here we have a 3x3 style headstock. We're gonna use the same technique as the 6-in-line non-vintage tuner to lock these strings. So I'm gonna grab a dummy string here. On your bass post, excuse me, you're gonna wanna thread it through, and then you're gonna loop clockwise over the top of the string that's threaded through. Hold it down. You can lift that up if you'd like. I prefer that. And then you're just gonna tighten it. When you tighten it, the loop over the top and then the new loops under the bottom will basically anchor that right to the post. So you should be fine there for like string slippage or anything of the sort. And on the treble side, we're gonna do that lock again. Again, I set my tuning post to 9 and 3. You're just gonna pretend this is a full string. You're gonna go through. And on a 3x3, you're gonna go counterclockwise underneath the string that you're holding, the full string, and then pull forward towards noon. And that will create that little V lock in there. And when you're tightening it, basically just locks that string into place. Sometimes they slip down and you can like actually look at the lock and it looks like it's slipping out like that or something, but you just want to make sure it's tight. And that's that. And I would do that on treble strings and then do the wrap sandwich technique on your bass strings. But that would ensure that you will not run into any like slippage of the strings up top or like tuning issues with the tuning posts. I can't stress enough, do not tie knots on your strings. Like don't, sometimes I get some that are, you know, they're like this, like somebody tied a shoe knot on it and like stuff like that. It's completely unnecessary and it makes everything complicated and a total pain to remove the string. Yeah, just, you don't need to do that at all.
So that's it for us here. I'd like to thank Wyatt Overman at Overman Guitars for helping us out here. We're always looking for more questions. Don't be shy. So if you have any more questions, feel free to throw those down in the comments. Also, make sure to sign up for the Stringjoy email list. There's tons and tons of useful information there delivered to your inbox weekly. So until then, I'll see you when I see ya.